Coming up this week on Sporting Journal Radio.
Gosh, there has to be an easier way to make boating accessible for people.
I have some other weird facts about turkeys.
He's down. Beat him up.
Broadcasting on the Sporting Journal Radio Network, wherever you get your podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Fish on right now.
Well, we're here at the 2024 Pheasant Fest and Quail Classic, presented by OnX. Know where you stand with OnX. And our guest now is Jeremy Smith. I fish, I hunt, and always will.
It's just to look out for your everyday hunter, angler, and trapper that's out there.
A Fish Hunt Forever production. This is Sporting Journal Radio. That's right. Thanks for tuning into the show here this week. My name is Bret Amundson, along with Dan Amundson and David Eckhardt. What's up, fellas?
Hello. What? Where'd I go? Well, I'm there, but
you're there, yeah.
There we go. That looks better. Look at this
camera
guy.
Camera 1, camera 2.
Here
David.
I am.
Welcome back.
I'm back.
Love that button.
Fresh out of the tractor.
Yep.
And the planter. How's the farming going?
It's good. We're done.
Oh, they're even better.
Everything's out of the ground.
So you don't have to work again for like 6 months or something?
No, I got food plots to do.
Oh, all right. Well, I want to talk
hunt forever.
We'll talk farming and food plots a little bit later in the show, plus wildfires, plus turkey hunting. We had a little bonus turkey hunt that was successful this week. I'm pretty excited about that. We got some AGLOW Media Camps. Suzie Kenner is going to join us from Devil's Lake. Also, Joe Henry will talk Lake of the Woods. We'll get some fishing reports and more. And there's some muskie news that we'll tell you about here in just 1 second as well. And Dan, you're wearing an appropriate hat today.
Well, I do know that. Yeah, that's why I did that. Thanks.
Good.
Appreciate it.
We'll talk fire prevention and wildfires.
It's Smokey the Bear.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
I have a keychain here, too, for some
Is it
reason.
Smokey the Bear or Smokey Bear?
I don't know. I've
heard both.
I mean, what's the difference?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Not a thing.
I don't know. But yeah, for listeners, we have to forget that not everybody watches this show.
Right.
So,
right. For our radio listeners, podcast listeners.
Yeah. They're just as valuable as, the rest of them.
Absolutely.
So.
But man up, just start watching it.
Tis the season for the air conditioner to be in the background.
Yeah.
Trying to turn up the volume here, and I just hear.
Oh, like the sound. We could, David.
It's like we're on AM radio right now. I guess on some stations we are.
That's right.
So.
All right, I'll have David turn the thermostat, turn the air conditioner off, so you don't have to listen to our air conditioning. But it is 90-some degrees out there when we're recording this, prior to the cold front that's moving through and the much-needed rain. We'll talk more about that in a second. But first, Dan, who are the sponsors this week on the show?
Lake of the Woods Tourism. Lake of the Woods is the walleye capital of the world. Plan a trip to Lake of the Woods this summer at lakeofthewoodsmn.com. OnX Hunt. See private land boundaries, offline maps, and more. Take 20% off a new membership with the code SJR20. Haybale Heights Campground and Resort. Fish Devils Lake this summer. Learn more at haybaleHeights.com. Tasman Lake Lodge. Catch a world record lake trout and giant pike at Saskatchewan's Tasman Lake. Learn more at tasmanlake.com. Prairie Sportsman. The last episode of the new season just aired last week, and you can watch all of those episodes anytime at the Prairie Sportsman YouTube channel. And Guardian Eagle Resort. Plan a trip to the Ontario waters of Guardian Eagle Resort. Fly directly from the Twin Cities. Learn more at guardianeagle.com.
All right, before we get into headlines, I just want to mention a couple of things. Prairie Sportsman, it airs originally on Pioneer PBS, and then after that, it starts airing on the other channels around the region. So if you don't get Pioneer PBS where you're at, maybe you're up in northern Minnesota, you get Lakeland PBS. Well, Saturdays at 2:30, they're going to start airing the new episodes starting May 24th, that Warrior Walleye Shootout. That episode will be May 24th on Lakeland. TPT Life in the Twin Cities, that actually has been keeping up with us a little bit. The Carl Arndt taxidermist and vehicle recovery episode will be on Saturday at 3:30. And if you get the Minnesota channel, it airs, I think, Fridays and Mondays now. It's airing 4 times a day on Fridays and Mondays, and then other times in there too. So.
It's so funny. I'll be in the person's not there. I'll be in the cities at my parents' house or something, just flipping through channels, and all of a sudden see the PBS stations there. You get like 4 of them in the Twin Cities for some reason, and it's like, oh, Prairie Sportsman's on at this random time, and it's just some random episode, and like, oh, it's on again 2 hours later. Oh, it's on at 2:30 in the morning, and it's on all the time.
So many times.
Every single day. And Prairie Yard and Garden, for that matter, too.
And postcards.
And, well, we see us more than them in the Twin Cities, so.
Well, that one airs a lot, too. Sorry, I think I added it up one time on all the stations. It airs over 650 times a year or something like that.
Wow.
So just randomly, yeah.
Wow.
It's kind of funny. All right, so search Your Guide for Prairie Sportsman or just go to the Prairie Sportsman YouTube channel.
So
now,
much easier that way.
time for headlines. Headlines are brought to you by Tasman Lake Lodge. They are opening up in 1 month, June 14th. First guests arrive in camp. They'll be up there earlier, opening it up, of course. Trophy Lake Trout, Northern Pike, and Scenic Northern Saskatchewan. Plan your trip at TasmanLake.com. There are still a few openings left. Not many, but there are a few openings left this summer at Tasman Lake Lodge in Northwest Saskatchewan. It's going to be so much fun. We'll be up there in the end of June and early July again this year. So you'll be able to follow along with our adventures there and see the videos on the Tasman Lake Lodge YouTube channel. Well, man, there are some fires. Saskatchewan's got some wildfires, and so does Minnesota right now. According to Bring Me the News, when we're recording this show on Wednesday, more than 140 buildings have been destroyed and 20,000 acres of forest burned by a trio of wildfires in northern Minnesota. The Brimson area camp house fire, which ignited on Sunday, spans roughly 12,000 acres after spreading. That's just it's northwest of Two Harbors. To give you an idea of where that is, it's northwest of Two Harbors. The Jenkins Creek fire is northwest of that one. And then the Munger Shaw fire is near Cotton. That's southeast of Evelett. Camp house fires destroyed 144 structures. More than 200 personnel are battling that fire, which as of this time, right now, 0% contained. That's not good, Dan.
Stop breaking the law!
So
It's not good at all.
that fire apparently started from an unattended campfire. All right, for the last, I don't know what,
Stop breaking the law!
a week or so, we've been in a red flag warning.
Well, Sunday, Monday and Tuesday, most of the state was in a red flag warning. And I think it was Sunday that these fires sparked up. Maybe Saturday. I don't really remember. But it's been dry. There's been high fire danger, and then it dipped into the extreme range. And it was kind of a holiday weekend, Mother's Day, and fishing opener. And so you go up to your cabin or you're camping and you want to have a campfire. Of course, I get it. But man, embers can travel for a while, and it's not even just campfires. Throwing your cigarette out the window. Don't do that in the first place. That's called littering. That starts a lot of grass fires and ditch fires, which if you don't catch them in time can spread. And especially up in the north and the northeast where it's all forest, it gets ripping and it gets hot fast.
Lots of fuel.
And a lot of fuel, and it sucks when it really starts to endanger structures. We talk a lot on the show about how prescribed burns are good and fire is actually good. It's part of the cycle of the forest. It's part of the cycle of the grasslands. It's great. It promotes new growth and new habitat, but it sucks to see some of these big, tall, mature trees burn down or have to get cut down. And it really sucks when people are losing their homes and cabins or businesses. So be responsible. Don't be dumb. Keep your fires under control. Don't burn right now. Keep your cigarettes, throw them in a trash can or something. Watch your trailer chains if they're dragging and sparking.
I've seen this new Smokey Bear commercial about the trailer chains.
Yeah, when Smokey Bear is a woman.
Yeah,
it's weird. It always
heard one on the way over.
Yeah, it always weirds me out. When it's like this lady, and then it actually is a lady, but at first she's Smokey Bear. And it's kind of goofy,
and then it's a lady.
Trips me out. Well, yeah. Anyways, we've seen this spring out here. We had a ditch fire spark up because someone's bearing went bad and was super hot, and they pulled over to try to fix it.
That's crazy.
It started the grass on fire. So it's dry. Bottom line, it's dry. Even if there's not a visible flame, heat, if it's hot enough, because guess what? Fire is heat. So it can light things on fire if things are hot. So be smart, be safe, be responsible. And stop lighting things on fire. And when people are telling you, I know people hate to listen to government agencies, especially the DNR, but if they say there's a red flag warning, maybe don't burn.
Don't burn. But it's wild how some are just accidental, like wheel bearing. I never would have thought of that. And then how many times has there been grass fires next to railroad tracks?
Railroad tracks, that's a big one. If the spark arresters aren't working properly or not set properly, however that
bearings
works.
going out on a rail car.
Yeah. Cars, when you have a lot of friction on metal heats up and things spark, and Yeah, we've dealt with that before and fighting fire alongside the highway and the railroad tracks. So it's I don't know, be safe, be responsible. I think we're going to be past the deadline for prescribed burns to be happening. I believe it's May 15th, so you shouldn't see any more of those. But people still like to light things on fire and not listen to the rules. So just stop being stupid. Life would be so much better if people stopped being stupid.
Thanks, Smokey.
Yeah.
Only you. Isn't it? Doesn't Sam Elliott actually voice that a lot?
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Am I right in that?
Something like that.
You might be.
That was a terrible Sam Elliott.
I thought that was pretty good.
Awful.
I thought it was pretty
I think
close.
that was garbage.
I think that's maybe the best Sam Elliott I've ever done, actually.
I think
you could present. Because he's kind of got a mouthful of marbles when it's like his mustache gets
he's
in,
gonna talk
gets in
through
the
his
way.
mustache.
Only you. Anyway, now
he sounds like he's getting like, his throat stuff. Like, whoa, how'd I do that?
All right. The DNR also is inviting people to share their thoughts on a draft update of the state's long-range plan for muskie. The draft plan will be used to guide muskie management in Minnesota for the next 15 years. It includes management goals, objectives, and strategies centered on improving existing muskie populations and more. Anyone can obtain a copy of the draft plan on the DNR's website. There's an online webinar coming up on May 28th that you can be a part of from 6 to 7 p.m. and more. We've got all the details on our website.
We do?
Yep, we sure do. I put them up there today. Fishhuntforever.com. You can go there and get links and see more about telling the DNR what you think about management of muskies for the next 15 years.
I'm the only one who's going to get well, David will. Brett won't because he hasn't watched the show. But when I hear webinar, all I think about is Shorzy now, David. A web of what?
A what?
I got to watch it.
Anyways.
I got to get caught up. All right, we got a break. We're going to talk turkeys when we come back. Some turkey trivia this week, guys.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Stay there. If you want to catch a big walleye, go where the big walleyes are. Lake of the Woods is the walleye capital of the world, with a variety of resorts and lodging facilities offering full-service fishing. Lake of the Woods is also home to sturgeon, sauger, perch, trophy pike, muskie, smallmouth bass, burbot, and more. Plan your trip to Lake of the Woods today. Go to lakeofthewoodsmn.com. That's lakeofthewoodsmn.com. This is Sporting Journal Radio. Thanks for joining us. We're going to talk fishing here in just a little bit. Walleyes, Devil's Lake, and Lake of the Woods. But before that, you guys, did you know it's still turkey season?
Yeah.
It is.
Thanks. Was that the turkey trivia you just teased?
That was the turkey trivia.
Guess what? It's hunting
season. Did you know?
Only
it is still turkey season. Well, a lot of people have kind of transitioned.
Turkeys.
Dan, I know you said once the walleye opener hits that you're kind of done with turkeys, and
yeah,
you didn't even buy a tag this year.
Last 2 years haven't had time. Just have not had time.
Did you hunt, David?
I did buy a tag this year. This is the first year in a few years that I've actually bought a tag.
You've just hunted without one?
Yeah. And
we're both in the same place there.
Well, it's always like you're busy the first part of the season, and then
with what? What are you busy with the first part of the season?
Farming.
No, you're not.
Don't you worry about it.
Takes like 3 days.
We're just not excited about it till May, and then it's like, well, then you got to get up at 3 in the morning because sunrise is so early by that time, and
you don't have to get up that early. Let me tell you why.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So I bought my tag. There's been a hen hanging around the house. Never seen a tom here, but there's been a hen hanging around, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to buy a tag yet because I was going to hunt at the very end when everybody can use their tags and it opens up. I was like, I'll just wait till the end.
So when you have to get up at 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
Even better.
I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy a tag just in case that hen brings a tom around. What, that'd be the odds that all of a sudden there'd be a tom just strutting right out the kitchen window, and I'd be like, oh. I mean, that's not as much fun, but if I have the opportunity to get an easy turkey, I'm going to take it because I like eating wild turkey. But I prefer to hunt them, and I didn't have time either, but I bought a tag, and Wednesday was my last day for the season, or Tuesday, I guess, was the last day of my season, the 13th. So the last day of the season was May 13th. That was yesterday. And Dan, you were out driving around, and what'd you see?
Driving around, and found some turkeys on the side of the road, in some private, but all they had to do was, how wide's a road?
How wide?
Yeah.
20 feet.
20 feet. So all they had to do was go 20 feet and they were on public. So I sent you a picture of them, a video of them. And you said, oh, dang. And I said, go hunt them. And you said, oh, they were toms?
Well, I was barely paying attention. I was working.
Thanks.
I was in the middle. Well, I was working. So I was like, okay, Dan snapped me a video. I'm like, all right. And I couldn't see, I could see 2 turkeys, but I couldn't see beards. I just didn't get a real good look at them. So I was like, I figured they were maybe some hens, and, but there was, how many did you see?
2.
Okay. But didn't you say they were chasing a hen?
Well, there was a hen crossing the road in front of me, and then the 2 toms were in the private ditch. But they were about to cross, so I said, hey, go grab your gun and go get over here because they're going into the public. And I don't remember what you said. You probably didn't say anything after that. I was like, well, Brett's going to be lazy and going to let an easy opportunity pass himself up, and you didn't. I'm proud of you.
Well, it's one of those things where it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It was 90 degrees outside. And I was busy. I was in the middle of stuff, but I started thinking about it, and I was like, this is the last day of my season before the end when everybody's going to be going. But it was public land, and that public land gets a lot of pressure. I'm like, God dang it, there's no way I'm going to get close to these birds. But I said, you know what? I bought the tag to hunt turkeys. So I'm going to go.
What you do with one.
And this video will show you how the hunt went.
Oh.
You don't have it.
Forgot about that.
Well, I'll just, do you want me to, do you
Go
want
to
me
your Instagram page and you can watch it. Sorry, you said, as I was setting everything up for this, before we started recording, you said, oh, there's this video we should play. And I wasn't in the middle of that. My process of show prep and content curation was over. Well, so is this my fault? Yes. Am I going to blame it on somebody else? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, as you were saying, shooting a turkey in your backyard would be not as cool. But if it's somebody else's backyard, which is where I have been hunting, because they have a bunch of turkeys in their yard, and they're pooping on our sidewalks and in the lawn, and they're loud. And like, come shoot one. I'm like, I will. So it's been a 3 acre yard. And then the neighbor's 5 acre yard is where I've been hunting, and I've been seeing a lot of birds, but they are the most passive birds around. They're not
reacting at all.
No, they want nothing to do with decoys, but it's like there's 2 toms and 8 hens when I've been hunting. So
good luck.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna interrupt.
You got the video?
Did you get it pulled up?
Here we go.
I gotta get rid
Well,
of this.
I did not think I was going to get it done, but I had all the proper gear, Sitka, Equinox, and of course I had the Merrills. Now, Dan had seen a couple turkeys, told me where they were. They were next to some public land, so I threw the gear on quick and headed out there. It's 91 degrees. I didn't really know what to expect, but they were headed down a draw, and I was trying to look at Onyx to see where they might end up when they come out of that draw. Tried to be sneaky, called a little bit. And as soon as I got to where I thought they were, I had a coughing attack, and I could not stop coughing. I thought I ruined it. So kind of bummed. I climbed up the hill. I'm seeing pheasants and deer all over the place. And I got up on top of this hill, and there's a field there, and there were pheasants and geese and mallards and wood ducks all over this field. As I looked over the top, there were 3 toms and a hen strutting on the other side of the field. I thought about maybe backing down and trying to sneak up to that field edge and just put a sneak on them. I didn't have any decoys with, but I had my call. So I sat in that corner, and those 3 were just strutting away with one probably tired out hen. I called one time real lightly, sat there and glassed them, and sure enough, that tom that was strutting first came right at me, and then the hen and the other 2 strutting toms came right at me. I crawled about 20 yards, snuck up into this tree, hid there, got my shotgun ready, and he strutted right out into an opening right in front of me. And that was it. All right, so I'm gonna take the breast meat out of this turkey and the legs. I got this new Real Flex Pack from Outdoor Edge that I'm gonna use to cut up this turkey. Heck yeah.
It was so cool, like just barely called. And then I put the call.
Yelps.
Oh, what's that?
A couple light yelps.
Yeah, put the call away. It's like, this is all I'm going to do. And if they don't come, I'm sneaking on them. And all of a sudden I was glassing them. And I'm like, I think they're getting closer. And I glassed them. And I'm like, I think they're getting closer. And all of a sudden I could see there was one tom that was being more aggressive in his strutting. Like he was real worked up. And he was like strutting at me. And he hadn't turned, like he was kind of doing circles before I called, and then he was just strutting right at me. I'm like, this is going to happen. They're coming. And that little tree, I know it sounded like I climbed up into a tree is kind of what it sounded like there, but it was like a little volunteer, like it's just a small that V'd, and there's a big stump where a tree had been cut down in between that V. So I'm guessing these were coming up from where that tree was cut down, and that stump and that V was like a perfect place. I crawled inside that little V and just kind of propped my gun up on one of the little branches and held it there as they came in. I mean, it couldn't have been more perfect. And that Tom just kind of worked his way out in front of me, and as soon as he got out into the open, I just folded him up and dropped him, and and then the moment hit that I can't believe this just happened. Like, I was sweating, and I think had all three of us been there, we probably could have worked all three of those birds. Like, they were all ready to play. And after I shot, the two toms took off, but the hen just kind of kept coming around and just hanging out around that tom. I'm like, get out of here.
She didn't want to leave her boyfriend.
Trying to be kind of stealthy here.
Why are turkeys so obsessed with dead turkeys?
My turkeys?
No, all turkeys are just obsessed with dead turkeys.
Yeah.
And remember that, David, the one time you and I went bow hunting together and you whacked that one and I tried to take one real quick shot and missed. And you're like, well, just wait. It's going to come back.
Right.
And sure enough, it comes right up to his buddy who's just dead as a doornail. He's just sitting there. And so I took one shot and hit him, and that was that.
It's wild when they come up and start fighting the dead one.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like you were just friends, and now that he's not moving, you go, take that.
Yeah.
He's down. Beat him up.
Well,
he's down.
I have some other weird facts about turkeys. Maybe weird facts or maybe little known facts for you guys about turkeys.
Is it still turkey season?
Of Turkey Trivia. Ladies and gentlemen, Turkey Trivia. Do we have any music or anything we can play or some sound?
See, you didn't tell me about
No,
this.
I didn't.
So, but
question number
I'm so prepared.
There it is. Question number 1. How many vocalizations does a turkey have? Is it A, 12? Is it B, 20? Is it C, 36? Or is it D, 4, but 2 are in Spanish? What do you think?
I'm going to go with the last one. The 2, also with 2 in Spanish.
Okay.
Because there are
C.
Spanish turkeys.
That's true. Dan?
7.
7. The answer is B, 20. Some say maybe they have up to 28 sounds somewhere in there. So it's amazing how turkeys can talk. How many feathers does a turkey have? Is it A, 150? Is it B, 10,000? Is it C, 5,000? Or is it D, none? They have fur.
Wouldn't that be something? Who's counted?
That's a good question.
Like, who picked up a turkey and went, I wonder.
Well, when I have to
Plucked it one by one.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And then probably had 4 blow away, so he's off by.
Right. Well, what do you guys think?
Well, we can rule the obvious one out.
The fur.
I think so.
I'm glad you had a question there.
Thanks.
The answer is...
I don't remember what you said.
Yeah, I don't remember the numbers.
All right,
Not
the answer
10,000.
is 5 to 6,000. So 5 to 6,000 feathers on a turkey. All right, question 3. How fast can a turkey fly? Is it A, 25 miles an hour? Is it B, 5 miles an hour? Is it C, 60 miles per hour? Or is it D, 150 miles per hour?
What was the first one?
25.
25?
25.
It seems a little slow.
25.
For a turkey? They're not that fast.
That's true.
Right? Well, actually, maybe they are. They might be deceivingly fast.
Yeah, I'm
it's
gonna
like
go
a
60.
They are definitely deceivingly fast.
Well, it's like we were talking about driving big trucks and how it doesn't feel like you're driving them that fast, but you're just cruising along. It's probably the same thing with a turkey, because a bird that big really shouldn't be able to fly. You're just a flightless bird.
Scott is my witness. I thought turkeys could fly.
You can't help people save money on Liberty Mutual. That's my brain went.
What's the end of it? Dang, that bird did it.
By golly,
really made
did
it.
Yeah.
Emu, emu.
All right, we're gonna send him a bill for that commercial. What do you think, Dan? Do you remember?
25. I want 25.
All right. The answer is 60.
Got it right.
60 miles per hour. All right. The fourth question is a true or false. True or false? You can tell a turkey's sex by its poop.
I haven't checked.
I'm going to go false.
The answer is true.
You idiot.
You blew it.
How do you not know that?
According to the National Audubon Society, male turkey poop is shaped in the letter J, while females are spiral shaped.
That's so weird.
And the bigger it is, the older the bird.
Next time I go into a public restroom and I walk into a stall and there's a spiral poop in there.
There's been a hen turkey.
Oh my gosh, females are using the male's bathroom.
And she looks very old. All right. Because it's big and spiral.
Oh, you're still thinking it was a turkey. I was going to assume it was a female human.
No, I'm talking about turkeys, of course. And did you know that Benjamin Franklin didn't actually advocate for the turkey to be the national bird instead of the eagle? Have you guys heard that story?
Yeah.
He wrote a letter to his daughter saying the national bird should be a turkey and not a stupid eagle. But apparently he was just joking with his daughter.
Oh,
so he wrote
that would be,
but he didn't actually mean it. There you go. Some fascinating wild turkey facts courtesy of all of us right here. We're going to talk Devil's Lake walleyes with Suzie Kenner when we come back. Now is the time to start thinking about chasing big walleyes on Devil's Lake. Get on the fish at Haybale Heights Campground and Resort. Haybale Heights makes it easy for you to make memories on legendary Devil's Lake with guided fishing and lodging packages. Or bring your own boat and rent one of their cabins on East Bay. Haybale Heights offers a private marina, fish cleaning station, and the opportunity to relax and enjoy your bucket list trip to Devil's Lake, North Dakota. To book your trip, visit haybaleheights.com. That's haybaleheights.com. All right, we're back. Sporting Journal Radio. Thanks for tuning in on the radio network, by demand, or watching this on YouTube. Heading up to Devil's Lake right now to check in with Suzie Kenner, the tourism director at Visit Devil's Lake. Suzie, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. We're excited. We're heading up there next week. We're going to be up there for the week for an AGLOW Media Camp. So we're looking forward to getting out on the lake. We I think last time we were up there, we did some time on the ice in one of the snow bears with Haybale, which was a great time. Caught a bunch of fish, ate a bunch of fish. Always love coming to Devil's Lake, so we're looking forward to next week.
Us too. I hope the rain stays away, although we really need the rain. But looks like the forecast calls for some of that. So I'm telling everybody to bring their rain gear. But really excited to host everybody up here for the week and showcase what we have to offer. So it should be a good time.
Well, we can talk more about the media camp here in a second. But how's fishing been at Devil's this year?
It's been a little hit and miss. We started off a little slow, if I'm being honest. We've had such a weird weather pattern. You know, the ice came off really early this year, and I think last year, or a few years ago on May 13th, we still had ice on the lake. So it's been a little weird, and we've hit the 90s for the past, 5-6 days. And now we're going to hit a cold front starting tomorrow. So the weather patterns have changed a little bit, but I feel like in the next couple of weeks it's really going to pick up, which I'm excited about. All of the docks are in the water. A couple of our shore fishing piers are coming online here soon. And then all of the fish cleaning stations, the outdoor fish cleaning stations will be open sometime next week. So excited that summer is rolling right along.
Yeah, we went from spring to summer real fast.
And then back to spring.
Winter to summer. I know, it did happen fast, and excited to get the ball rolling and to get bobbers open outdoors. That's where we have all the outdoor music, the food trucks, and just get the boats out on the water. You know, I'm excited for the next season to roll around, and fishing up north has been good, rolling under those bridges and so forth. So plenty of wide open spaces, and our season is always open, so you can come fishing anytime.
I know, like in the spring, even shore fishing up there is pretty popular.
It is really popular. You can catch some big fish off the bridges or even up north. Oh, there's Danny. Yeah, it's a great avenue, and even with our media event coming up, just pending weather and wind, if you have a hard time getting the boat out on the water, there's always those shore fishing opportunities with the riprap, and we've got a couple of locations too along those riprapped areas where fishing is good, where we've put in stairs to get down to those locations, so you don't really have to navigate the rocks. If you're like me, navigating those rocks is really hard, so it's a great way for you to get down and get some fishing done.
I think those are difficult for everybody, honestly.
Oh, thank goodness, because I thought I was the only one.
I feel like I'm ready to go to the hospital every time I try to do that. Either right into the river or break an ankle right to the hospital.
When you do it
after fishing.
You do it in those flip-flops too. Which
I usually don't shore fish in flip-flops.
Okay.
Wisdom thing.
That's right. Well, one thing you'd mentioned to me off air that I really wanted to talk about and learn a little bit more about is this Wheelchairs and Walleyes project. What is that exactly?
So it's a wheelchair ramp with a platform lift and a chair lift. So it gives anybody with adaptive needs a way to get onto a boat, whether it's a fishing boat or a pontoon boat. It's off the water, and it's just a great system for people to use and navigate. And it's for anybody with any type of mobility challenges. You don't necessarily have to be in a wheelchair, but for those that, just have trouble getting in and out of a boat, it's a great way for you to get out onto the waters. And so we're really excited that ours will be coming online here at the beginning of June. It's the third, it will be one of 3 in North Dakota. There's one on Beulah Bay right now that came online last summer, and then ours in June, and Hazen Bay will have their own sometime in August.
Oh, wow, that's great. So where is it going to be, and where did the funding come for that?
Yeah, so, just kind of a little bit of the backstory on it. My dad was in an accident, a really bad accident, probably about 6-7 years ago. And before he was really wheelchair and bedbound, our family had kind of became friends with Johnny Candle. And so Johnny made it his mission on his birthday of that year to get my dad out fishing. And it took us about 30 minutes just to get him into the boat and almost an hour to get him out of the boat. And I was thinking to myself, gosh, there has to be an easier way to make boating accessible for people. And I started Googling and doing some internet searches and didn't really come across anything that would work. And so fast forward about 2 to 3 years, and this Wheelchairs and Walleyes organization dedicated one back to the Beulah community. And over that weekend, my phone rang. I think I took 20 to 30 phone calls that we needed to get this system into Devil's Lake. So right away on Monday morning, I called Jeff. It's Jeff and Jennifer Goss are their names, and they run the Dakota Walleye Classic. And I said, we need to get the ball rolling here. What do we need to do? So long story short, we hit the ground running, and it took about $190,000 to build the system into Devil's Lake. Not necessarily just the system itself, but we're also adding some adaptive needs into the bathrooms that are there. So each men's and women's stalls will have adult-sized changing tables, and we're building out a concrete area as well. So there'll be 2 parking pads for people that are driving up, so they'll have a place to park. And we chose Lakewood Park, which is on Creel Bay. So if you're familiar with where Woodland Resort is, it'll be right across the bay in a public park. And it's in a great location. It's right off the main bay. It's close to town. The bathroom facilities are there already. There's also a playground right there that has some adaptive need accessories for children. So we just figured it was the best location to put that. So working with the community, we've had a ton of donations come in for it. In fact, it was probably one of the easiest projects I've ever done in my life. I had people knocking on my door asking how they can get money to the project. So
that's
really
amazing.
excited about it coming out.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's great. Congratulations.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, that something in your life that was tragic had to be a catalyst for something like this, but it's amazing that you were able to take that and make something like this out of it, and that the community helped out as much as they did. That's fantastic. So
it's amazing to me, when I went to a few of the sporting clubs or some of the different clubs around the area, they even jumped to give more money than what we were asking for. And I can't believe the amount of people that said, now this summer I'll get to take my dad fishing again. I haven't gotten him into a boat in the last couple of years, and now we can do that. And it's, I get asked a lot, and Jeff and Jennifer get asked a lot about why they put this system on land instead of on the water. And it's for ease, and it's for stability. So you drive up to it, and you can either use the wheelchair platform lift or the chair lift. And the chair lift, I would say it's something like you would see on the side of a pool, right? So you can get into the chair, and it'll lift you down into the boat. And it's stable, it's on land. So you get the person into the boat, and then you drive. It's about a city block to the boat landing, and then you put the boat in the water, and you take off for however long you want to be out on the water. And then when you come back, you just reverse it. So you load the boat up, and then you drive over to the wheelchair platform and lift, and then you can get the person back out of the boat. And so it's better wind comes up or a storm comes up, you're not scrambling on the water to try and get somebody in and out.
Oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's a great idea. Well, we're looking forward to seeing that. While we're up there next week, we're going to be there as part of AGLOW Media Camp, and sounds like we're going to spend a couple of days on the water. Who all is going to be involved? Do you want to talk about guides and resorts and where we're going to be and all of that?
You bet. So we are staying at Woodland Resort, which is probably the largest resort on the shores of Devil's Lake. And I picked that location because they actually have a new event center that they're opening up this summer called The Shores. And that'll host up to 400 people for weddings, corporate events, anything that you really wish to have for an event, right on the waters of Devil's Lake. So it's beautiful. So we're going to stay there, utilizing some of their motel rooms and their 3-bedroom suites. And we've got people coming from all over the Midwest, I think, coming to the media camp. We've got Johnny Candle helping for a couple days. We've got Garrett Bonham from Bry's Guide Service helping. We've got a couple of our pro staff people helping. I call him Jared P. I think it's Puck Levinsky or something like that. I can never say it. It's got like one vowel, I think, in his whole name. He's helping out with the event and a few others. So it should be a good couple of days of fishing. We're going to explore some of our restaurants and maybe possibly get some shore fishing in as well if we need to or if anybody wants to. And yeah, just get out and explore the lake for a few days. We usually bring our media crew in to take some photos. Usually it's a good time for us to get our visitor guide photos done as well. And looking forward to just showcasing what we have to offer and get everybody out fishing for a couple days. It's always a good time of the year too. So.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to it. We love coming up there. It's always been a good time when we make it up, and we just I feel like we don't get up there as much as we should, Dan.
Well, we don't. I've only fished Devil's Lake once, and it was that snow bear trip we talked about. So,
well, what the heck? What's wrong with you?
Well, what's wrong with me? You're the one who plans all the trips.
Well, we're going there on Monday, so
Thanks.
There you go.
Okay, sweet.
Deal done.
Thanks, AGLOW. Not even a trip you planned.
That's right. All right, Suzie. Well, congrats on all the work. We're looking forward to seeing you here in a couple of days. And if people want to learn more about a trip to Devil's Lake, what can they do?
You bet. You can go to our website. That's the best place at devilslakend.com. You can request an inspiration guide if you would like one in the mail, or we have everything online, including our fishing reports. So we get those out about once a week as well. So you can see if you want to do something on your own, you can find out where to go, what to use, that sort of thing. And then Johnny Candle has been doing monthly seminars for us as well. So you can find those online too.
Very cool. Suzie Kenner, thanks a lot. We'll see you on Monday.
Thank you. Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
Sick of eating tag soup? It's time to own your odds this fall with OnX Hunt, the GPS hunting app trusted by millions of hunters. Now you'll have access to nationwide public and private land ownership information, waypoints, optimal wind for each stand, tracks, and much more. All at your fingertips. Go to onxmaps.com/hunt and use code SJR20 at checkout to receive 20% off your membership. That's code SJR20. All right, it is time to check in with Joe Henry at Lake of the Woods Tourism to get a report from the big walleye capital in northern Minnesota. Joe, how's it going?
Well, I tell you, what an opener. And, we anticipated it to be a good opener. We thought it would be. Man, I lie, was it a good opener, Brett? I mean, but it helps the lakes healthy. And, this time of year, those fish are close to shore. Some are still in the river. Some are in 4 Mile Bay. It was really, really good opener.
Well, that's good. Apparently, I should have gone there because my opener was not as good. I'm
going to sing a little song for you. And you might have heard this song before. If you want to catch a big fish, you have to go where the big fish are.
I've heard of that.
And part of that is the Rainy River, but part of it is Big Traverse Bay and also at the angle. And, I'm kidding around about the AI song that Bret created for SJR 500 on the Rainy River this spring. But, it was really, truly a good opener. And, people are getting limits of fish. They're throwing fish back. And, you get your walleyes and you got your saugers. And the other thing that's fun about this time of year, I mentioned how the fish are closer to shore. Some cases are even in the river or 4 Mile Bay. But the other thing is a jig bite. And, it's so enjoyable going out and either spot locking or anchoring up and jigging over the side of the boat with, frozen emerald shiner, a rainbow, a fathead, usually a minnow. And man, it's just been lights out.
People still catching them in the river?
Oh yeah, yep, they are. And we kind of thought that would be the case. We didn't have we had some warm weather this spring, but because we had such a thick ice cube from the winter, a thick sheet of ice, it took a long time to melt that ice. So things were a little bit later than normal for us. We lost our ice probably, gosh, I'm not sure if it was a week ahead of the opener or what it was, but on the lake. But there was a lot of fish in the river, some really nice fish in the river. And then, of course, some people who fished chose to fish the lake too, and had equally good luck. It's interesting because not every fish in the system is doing the same thing. Obviously, they're targeting different forage, and I heard good reports everywhere from 7 feet of water all the way out to 31 feet of water, and it gets confusing for somebody going to the lake that doesn't know the lake or wants to figure out, okay, what depth should I go to, and you just kind of go out and certainly you'll see boats swinging nets and stuff, but it's nice to get away from people. That'll give you one part of the story. I think you watch your electronics. Your electronics will tell you a lot on Lake of the Woods, and you just got to get out there and give it 20, 30 minutes in a spot, and a lot of times if you're anywhere around by those fish, they'll find you.
I know Darren Troseth just posted recently about being up there sturgeon fishing, and they kind of bounced into some spawning fish, I guess some warm weather that slowed things down a little bit, but they caught a lot, including a 70-incher while they were up there.
I saw that post too. What a nice fish, So we had that proposed or potential state record sturgeon that was caught recently in the Sportsman's Lodge annual sturgeon tournament. That was 78 and a quarter, and I say potential because you got to make sure you got the right images. The images have to be the way the DNR wants the images. You got to submit and see if it goes through officially. But it definitely was a state record. It was, in fact, the way from what I understand, the way they measured that fish, if they would have done it a little bit differently, they could have gotten 79 or more out of it. But nonetheless, big fish, and we know they're in there. And fish like that have been caught before, not photographed in such a way that you could register them for a catch and release state record. So it's only going to get better. And but there's been a lot of sturgeon caught. Our sturgeon season goes through May 15th, and then it closes all the way up until July 1. July 1 it opens again, and then you can actually fish sturgeon all the way again till the spring. And it's actually a keep season too. So if you want to get if you have a Minnesota fishing license, if you get a $5 sturgeon tag, now when you fish sturgeon this summer on Lake of the Woods or the Rainy River, if you catch a sturgeon that's 45 to 50 inches or over 75 inches, then you can keep it. And most of the fish are being caught obviously of the 45 to 50 inch variety, but you're allowed one sturgeon per calendar year, and you actually have to tag it just like you would a deer and submit the information to the Minnesota DNR. And it's a neat program. For the number of fish that could be taken, there's just a very small percentage that are, because most people are catch and release. I will say for people that do want to keep a sturgeon and try it, a lot of people smoke them, and the meat is absolutely delicious. It's a very rich meat. It's very enjoyable.
What about guys going up to the angle right now, Joe? How's it going for them?
Yeah, and they're fishing. Their jig bites going great up at the angle. They're fishing closer to shore, so they're fishing areas like neck down areas where there's a little bit of current going through, points, underwater points off of islands and out to shore, and of course even some weed beds are coming out of bays and things. So those fish are just creeping off the shore after spawning. We did get some reports around the lake that some of the males were milking a little bit still. The majority have spawned out, and but it's been great. And of course, in addition to the walleyes, of course, you're getting your saugers, your jumbo perch, you're getting pike, whether it's on purpose or not on purpose. Some up at the angle, especially, some people are hooking some muskies, while they're fishing their walleyes, and so it's really kind of a mixed bag. But that's the way it is at Lake of the Woods, and that's the way it is this time of the year.
We need to plan a trip to come up there and do some filming. I don't know. We went up and spent some time at the angle during the open water season last year filming with Joe Lauren, but we didn't fish at all. I don't know. Maybe we need to go up there and fish this year, guys. What do you think?
Sounds good to me.
David doesn't care. He just wants to be along.
Yeah. Do you want to come with this time?
I do.
Are you done farming?
Farming, yeah. Now it's food plot season. So.
Oh, okay. Well, can you take a break to go fishing and actually enjoy summer activities?
Now, let's be honest. He's going to be done with all the farming, food plots or whatever in a week, and then he'll have 6 months before he has to do anything.
He'll be bugging us. You guys want to go fishing? No, we actually have jobs.
Yeah.
Come on.
6
you can
months.
skip out a little.
Man, and I choose the wrong profession.
3 months.
Oh, 3 months. Sorry.
Well, sorry,
3 months
and then
break.
the 6 in the winter, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
David, are your fields irrigated?
Nope.
Boss, you got to worry a little bit about the dry weather, don't you?
Yeah, it's pretty dry right now.
It's gonna rain
We're supposed
tomorrow.
to get rain tonight and tomorrow, so.
No, I mean, no wonder you're smiling.
Yep.
Yeah.
And 40-mile-an-hour winds, I guess. So
Yeah, are your seed actually in the ground, or did it just blow away?
Nope,
Yeah.
they're all in the ground and they're all growing. So.
Nice. Love it.
Not a big deal.
Anyways, back to fishing.
yeah, I was gonna say it always kind of amazes me, and maybe we should
Farm
talk
hunt
about this
forever.
another time. But how fast stuff grows even without the rain right now, just because it's been
Yeah.
so hot, and
Pops right out of the ground.
that's wild. All right.
Blame it on the rain.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Wow.
New topic.
Well, people are probably starting to get into their summer vacation time up at Lake of the Woods, Joe. Big Traverse. People jigging outside the gap, probably along Pine Island.
Well, so many spots. I mean, outside in the gap, outside the gap, behind the gap, Morris Point Gap, out in front of Morris Point from Pine Island, back behind the gap. I mean, Zipple Bay, near the Zipple Bay Reef or the Big Rock. Down at Long Point, Kurt Quinnell had a great report. He was out 31 feet. He slid out to 31 feet and was catching fish out of Long Point. The fleet at Arneson's Rocky Point, they're going out and fishing near shore structure and some structure just offshore. They had a good opener. I mean, it's really, it's schools up and down the shoreline along the south end. And of course, we already talked about the angle. There's really fish all over the place, and you just got to go find them. And the different fish are doing different things. I mean, this time of year, if you want to go and jig them, you can jig them. If you want to go troll cranks along Pine Island and in that 8 to 12 feet of water and troll shad wraps, you're going to pick up some fish. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to get it done right now. And then, of course, you got areas too that you can hit, like Knight and Bridges Islands, Garden Island. When you're up in the angle hitting Little Oak, Flag. Pretty soon the Flag Island Flats will kick in. That's tradition. There's just so many areas to fish, and our fishery is really strong right now, so it certainly helps.
Well, I can't wait to get back up there. I don't know, Dan, what do you think? 3-4 trips to Lake of the Woods this year? 5?
How many months till the open water season or the ice season starts?
Open water season's here, Dan.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate
Well, but
it.
if you remember, last year,
-5 days.
Danny jumped on a turtle with myself and a crew of people that kind of a motley crew of people from Minneapolis trailer was on the city, but they're pretty good guys, I guess. Wink, wink. But we smoked the fish pretty darn good when we went out, and remember that was pulling spinners a little bit later in the summer.
In August. Yeah, that's the beauty of up there. So fishing's good year round. You don't have to wait for the morning or evening bite or anything like this. You go out at noon on a 90-degree day in August, you're going to catch fish. And I think that's one of the coolest things about fishing up there in the summer. So I think we should take a trip, not next week, but maybe after that. And then June's getting kind of busy. July, we could do end of July, and then what if we just stayed up there?
Okay.
I mean,
Well, you guys, you should be able to go down to your local lakes in the middle of July and have a consistent walleye bite, don't you?
right.
It's hilarious.
Well, and I kid around about it, but really, this time of year, a lot of lakes in Minnesota, you can pick up a few walleyes, right? I mean, you know that.
Oh, yeah.
Two different methods. Now is that time.
Brett
but I'll
can't.
tell you what, as we get into June,
True story.
but as we get into June and July and August, that's when things get tough. You get weed growth. You get all the young of the year fish spawning, so there's a lot of competition, and that's where Lake of the Woods shines. I mean, we're really consistent all the time, and it helps to have millions of walleyes. It helps to have stained water, and of course, all of our walleyes are we don't stock Lake of the Woods. They're all naturally spawned out on the lake and the river. So yeah, it's kind of a neat deal that way, and we also got the big fish. We have a slot limit on Lake of the Woods, 19.5 to 28 inches. Got to put them back. Well, you take a nice picture, you put that fish back, they're not the good eaters anyway. The smaller ones are the better eaters. But what that does, it only encourages growth of those real big 28 to 32 inch fish. But we got a lot of those in our lake. For the sharpshooters out there, for people that like using forward-facing sonar, I should remind you, the last 4 walleye tournaments we had in Lake of the Woods, the winning team in each tournament had about a 10-pound average per walleye for their stringer
It's
walleye.
insane. So crazy.
It's insane because they're picking out the big fish, and they can decipher between a 26-inch walleye and a 30. So they're letting little 26-inchers go by and just going after the big ones.
So Dan took a shot at me just a second ago. I don't know if you caught it or not, Joe. But how many walleyes did you catch on opener, Dan?
Prove that I went fishing.
Oh, you just went to your cabin for fun?
Yeah, I did actually, and I had a lot of fun. And I had a case of bush apple, and I had a fire before the red flag warning started, and I enjoyed just peace and quiet. It was pretty nice, David.
All right.
We might have tied.
You don't know that.
All right, Joe, if people want to plan a trip to Lake of the Woods, what should they do?
Best source of information is our website. Check that out at lakeofthewoodsmn.com.
Sporting Journal Radio is a division of Macaba LLC. If you've got a question, comment, or story idea for us, send us an email. Go to sportingjournalradio.com. While you're there, you can learn how to advertise on the show and visit our store for hats, hoodies, coffee mugs, and more. Go to sportingjournalradio.com.